It's not perfect, but the world's possibly worst self-propelled vacuum cleaner is done, refurbished and ready to show you. Does it work any better considering it wouldn't have worked very well in the first place? Let's have a look. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums, how are you today? This thing, sodding thing, is at a stage where I can show it to you. And obviously this is also the first time you'll see it in the lights, because it was when I filmed the before video of this that I realised that I needed to upgrade my lighting kit, and obviously here we are today. So this is the Electrolux Cyclone Power self-propelled bagless upright vacuum cleaner. It is refurbished to a point, because I might have broken it ever so slightly. When I went to take the motor apart, the fan nut was rusted on, and unfortunately in trying to take it off I buggered the thread up basically. So I'm in a quandary because I don't have a spare motor for it, but I do. But it's from the burnt out, it's actually here, the other Cyclone Power. The remains of it is sat here. Yes, this now has no motor fitted because part of it is in here, but obviously that one had burnt out. Sadly, the armature cleaned up a little bit and it now does run. I've put them both together to make one good one, but it doesn't smell great. So hopefully it'll last this video. It's not the end of the world, because obviously all I need to do is just find a cheap one of these with a working motor, which will happen. It needs to be quite local really, so I'll just go pick it up rather than paying postage for something that I just want to smash the motor out of. The other big problem that I had with this machine is the cable that runs through the machine to there, which controls the power drive mechanism. Yes, it's quite an interesting design. I've got the refurb thread to put up which will show you, but basically this handle moves up and down, and as it moves up and down it pushes and pulls on a cable, which then pushes and pulls on a gearbox, and the cogs inside shift around. One side is forward, one side is back, so all the cable does is pull it around. It's quite a simple design. I might have accidentally got a little bit of lithium grease though on the pads that lock into place, but it seems to be okay. So I'm not taking it all apart now, but the cable was broken halfway down the machine. The outer, it's a Bowden cable. The outer sheath and the inner sheath, no wait, can't do that. The inner sheath goes inside the outer sheath and obviously pushes, like a bike brake cable basically. Bike brake cable, motorbike clutch cable. So the outer bit of snout meant it was snagging, which is why it didn't work very well. I have replaced that. I went to my local cycle shop, somewhere that I never normally go, and they gave me a cable. It was only a fiver, but it was a bit too thin. It works. The other thing is that it's not properly attached to this side because I only had one end on it. So it's a bit bodged, but it does the job. It's certainly a project for another day, because I have found that I can get them custom made for, again, not a lot, because it's just a motorcycle clutch cable. So that might be the way forward, but it is here, it is clean. Might be the little tiny bit of test dirt in here, because you can't clean this bit out. This bit flaps up, so you can empty that side, but this side you just got to sort of tip it out around this cone. You've got to undo the screws on the front and the back to really do anything, so it's a little bit of a pain. But inside is clean, it's got new filters in it. It had been used heavily for DIY, it was utterly disgusting. But it is now working well. I have mislaid the crevice tool. This got chucked back in the shed when I broke the cable, and I did put the crevice tool somewhere and haven't found it again. So it should have a crevice tool. It doesn't have its upholstery brush anyway, but it does have this very nice dusting brush, which is quite soft, a bit scratchy, and fits in place like that. So, let's plug it in and show you it running. Like I said, I'm hoping it doesn't blow up on stage. Bear in mind that it might. It does smell quite carbony. But yeah, basically, you pop the head down. I'll put it into self-dry mode for now. Hear the ever so slightly grumbly wind down, but it's not bad. It's grooming the carpet. I don't know if you can quite see on camera. We'll see if we can find a different room. But it's not too horrific. It's also picked up a fair bit of dirt. It does seem to have quite an aggressive brush roll, and if I turn it on, it's not quite enough to be all spinning around, but if we lift it off, the way this seems to work is that all the fine dirt comes into here, which you can sort of see there, and all the bigger dirt, and in this case lots of hair, which is all gathered around there, goes that side. And it's all a bit clumpy at the minute. I don't know if that's just because it's not very good. In fact, we can tell it's not very good because that is sat on the filter. This filter's not too bad. These were terrible, I'll be honest. It's never going to be as clean as this again, I shall put it that way. But hey ho, suction wise it's not too horrific. It's little hose bouncing merrily around the place. I can't imagine it's messed up the filter too much. Yeah, there's already a fine layer of dust all over my beautifully clean plastic. Luckily it's got the cheap filter in it. In fact, that's the original one. I don't think I put new filters in this yet. Everything's just been washed. I've got new filters, but I haven't had to use them. So yes, basically it's not too horrific. See if I can show you the wheel working in this better light now on the after video. Here we go. So you are zoomed into the one driven wheel. The other wheel is just a normal wheel. So there's one driven wheel. This is the gearbox side. The whole thing was full of fluff, obviously, where this is churned it up. And I put a little bit of tape on it just to see if we can see how it goes. Now, let me just unlock the handle. And I'll turn it on and we'll see if we can see it spinning. It should start in neutral. It's not too bad. It's more of a gentle helping hand, rather than an actual proper, being pulled along by a dog power drive. And it works better in soft pile. I tried it at home in the hall carpet. It did get bogged down quite a lot. And I'm not sure it should be that easy to stop. I think that's where I went a little bit happy with the grease, trying to help out all the little cogs. So I think one day it might have to come apart again, and I might rough up. It's like a cork surface on the innards in here. So I think it might need a little bit of a helping hand. I don't think I've got the correct screwdriver to whip this off, unfortunately, so you will have to wait for the refurbishment video to see that in action. The brush roll, I do actually have a brand new brush roll for one of these, But this one isn't that bad, so I have left it well alone. Think it's got a new belt fitted as well. Yeah, it's interesting. It's not great, but they are very, very rare. You don't see these really, so it's certainly nice to have it, even if... Crikey, look at that massive moth. That's a big moth. Go away. No, it is a big dead moth, actually. Not even alive, so we'll have you up. That's gone into that side of the bin. Right, let's find some maybe slightly deeper carpet and see what we can get up. That's not done too badly. There's a bigger blob of dirt in there. Still not really anything in there, although, there it all is, look. It's all, do it carefully, it's all just sat under there, look. And I'll be honest, I bet if I turn it on now, that'll just suck itself straight back up again. Filter's not too bad still. It's certainly not the best cyclonic design ever. So there we go, the Electrolux Cyclone Power with its flawed, I'll be honest, dust collection system. Look at that, straight up the top. I now obviously can't clean this side out without stripping it all apart, which is a bit of a shame. It's not hard to see why so many of these haven't survived, either this or the normal version. But I have an example. It is not perfect. It can do with some improvement, but it will do for now. I'll be honest, this was going to be vacuum of the month for June, but sadly when the Bowden cable issue happened, it wasn't going to be ready in time, so I chose the Kirby. I'll be honest, with the smell of carbon dust lingering in the air, that's probably not a bad thing. So we might see it again if I can improve it, the power drive in any way. If I put a proper cable on it and go back into the gearbox and, you know, rough up the mating faces of the brake bit, and it turns into a massive power monster, I might do another video, but treat this as it for now. The quite rare Electrolux, what is this? This is a Z1910, made in the USA. And sat here in Buckinghamshire. So, thank you very much for watching this after video that has eventually happened. And I shall see you soon. Bye bye.